This actually happened a few days ago, and I'm not the best writer, so bear with me. I'm a college student out of state and far away from my family, so this is gonna be a lot to deal with. Right now my living situation is staying with a friend and his family, so now that I have that out of the way, let me continue. It was a normal night. I was on my computer and my phone buzzes, and I see some cute girl requested to follow me. It said they were 20 years old, so I accepted it, and 10 minutes later I get a DM that says, "Hello. I don't think we know each other, but would you like to get to know each other if you don't mind?" After reading that, being the nice person I am, I said sure and asked where she lived. She said Austin, Texas, and she was 20, and asked me the same question. And while I said where I lived, not the city, she then proceeded to ask what I was doing, and while I was just doing some schoolwork. Then immediately after that, I was asked if I liked intercourse. Pretty odd question, so I don't answer. She then asks about cam intercourse. Again, I ignore. She then, and I don't even know how this got out because I have never taken a video in this manner at all, sends me an explicit video of me when I was a teen. I was in shock, and threatened to send the video to friends and family in my following if I don't, so I do. Because I'm just so scared. So I contacted them on that, and they sent me a thing saying how I needed to send $2,800 for his sick child. And then he said if I don't do what he says, it's over for me. And everyone would have that video. So obviously I wasn't gonna give him all that money. So I said, I am broke and have next to no money. We were also on the call, but they were not showing their face. And I was not either. But they had that video continuously playing, and I was not only embarrassed but disgusted that someone could do this type of stuff. They then told me to download this one money transfer app, so I did. And at this point it was feeling like I was being held at gunpoint. I was so petrified. While I was downloading it, I continued to negotiate with them, and throughout that they kept threatening me with that, and actually sent it to my friend who I will call Edward for his privacy. He then proceeded to say, "You think I'm joking?" I continued to beg and plead for him to delete the video, and he says not until I finish what he says. So I go through the money transfer process, and while I have my account set up to where I can't send money outside of the US, and this person was in Ivory Coast, Africa, I went through the process and it didn't work, and he kept getting more and more angry. He then asked if I knew about CVS, and I do but don't know where one is, and I tell them that, and then ask me if I know about Walmart. And he tells me to get him a $150 gift card and ship it to him, but the Walmart near me was closed, so I could not go do that. And I tell him, and he continues to get more angry and threatens me even more, and sends me a screenshot of my followers and tells me to try the money transfer app again, and I did, and the same result happened. He finally then gives up and tells me to go to a Walmart at 8 AM and he will contact me. He then asks for my number, and of course I don't give him my actual number, and he says he would contact me at 7 AM and then tells me to hang up, so I do. After all that happening, I sit there in utter shock for minutes, and when I could digest what happened, I blocked the email and Instagram account, contact all my friends and family about the situation, then file a report of the account to the police. And they tell me they will have detectives look at this and contact me in 7 to 10 business days. That at least is a good sign, but a tip for everyone is to never, ever answer a DM from a random person. I will also update about the situation when I get more about it. I was 17 years old and lived pretty far from school, which meant I had to rely on public transportation. Back then, my Instagram account was set to public. What did I care who followed me? It's not like I was some mega celebrity or anything, but now looking back, being an impressionable teen, I should have set it to private. Again, my account was nothing special. I was visible in most of my posts, either with friends or countless selfies to boost my ego. Posting my story was my favorite thing about Instagram. Something I would do regularly was to post my story of me waiting for my bus to arrive. I remember posting exactly this one day while waiting for my bus to take me to school. The bus was taking extra long, so I decided to check out who viewed my story so far. There was about 80 views, most of which consisted of family and friends. But there was one account that stood out. It was a profile picture of a middle-aged man who I've never seen before in my life. It was the cliche dad selfie you see plastered everywhere on social media. It was odd, but I didn't think much of it at the time, and went about my day as usual. Later that night, after school, my phone started to blow up with notifications. It was from that same man requesting to DM me, requesting to follow me, and liking every single photo I posted. I hesitantly opened his DM, which read, "Hey there," with a wink face. Not only did I not know this man, but it was also 1 in the morning. I thought it was just creepy, so I decided not to reply back but check his profile. His username was weird. It was John with a bunch of numbers, and there was only one post, the post of his cliche dad selfie. I began to take a closer look at who he was. He was a bald man with thick glasses and a blank expression on his face. He had 0 followers but was following over 500 accounts. I clicked on the accounts he was following. They mainly consisted of teenage girls, young women, and a few celebrities. I didn't need any more evidence to realize how much of a creeper this guy was, so I blocked him. The next morning was the same routine. I sat at the bus bench, listening to music while waiting for the bus. That's when I felt the unmistakable sensation of being glared at. I looked up, and from across the street by a rundown feed store, I recognized instantly the middle-aged man from Instagram who I blocked. As he just continued to gaze at me from across the street, I had the strong urge to burst out in tears. I could feel his unwanted vibe searing into my soul. My heart dropped when he began to walk towards me. There was no one around me as fear struck my bones. I grabbed my backpack and sprinted to the nearest public area. It was a pizza place called Domino's. I sprinted inside and started telling the guy behind the counter about the creepy man outside, trying to follow me. The guy behind the counter was a husky Italian man with hairy forearms. He stepped outside and looked at the bus stop. He saw the creepy man walking in our direction and told him to back off. His shouts made the creep freeze. I took this opportunity to take a picture of him with my phone, in case I had to report him to the police. As the Italian man stood in front of me protectively, the creeper then turned and sprinted away. The man worked at the pizza place and offered to take me to school. I agreed and pondered about what just happened as we drove to school. How did this man know where to find me? What was his plan if he actually had the chance to speak with me? And that's when I remembered. I posted my story the exact bus stop I was at yesterday morning. The realization made my skin crawl, and it taught me a very valuable lesson. Never ever reveal your location on your public social media. After the kind man dropped me off at school, I hugged and thanked him. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't step up and scare off that creep, and I pray if anyone is in my situation, that someone else steps up and does the right thing. I've had an Instagram account for over 5 years now, and was way more active on it when I was younger. These days I rarely post at all, and just use it as a means to kill time. Well, the other day I lost my phone. It was an iPhone, so my first instinct was to try and locate it using Find My iPhone, and it said it was over 20 miles away. It just wasn't worth it for me, and could be better to buy a new one anyway. Fast forward 1 week and I'm enjoying my brand new iPhone. A good friend of mine randomly DM'd me one day with a heads up. He explained that someone had created a fake Instagram account of me using my pictures. I thought at first it was a prank, but I checked Instagram and saw the fake account. It was an entire account pretending to be me. There were pictures that I have never posted before, and I immediately made the connection. Whoever made this account has my lost phone. I've heard of these sort of things happening, but I never thought it would be me. The account had about 30 followers and was following about 200 people. There weren't many comments on the photos, but there was the occasional heart or fire emoji. That's when I noticed the account had a story posted. My stomach sank to the floor. I opened the story. It was a video of my house and my dad's car in the driveway with the caption reading, "Blessed." Whoever this was literally trying to be me, and what was worse, whoever they were knew exactly where I lived. The story was posted an hour ago, so I went into the Find My iPhone settings again and turned on Lost Mode. Something I should have done from the start, but I was in for a surprise. The location of my old phone was no longer 20 miles away. It was right outside my house. It was dark outside already when I ran downstairs to show my dad that whoever had my phone was apparently right outside. But he was already in my backyard trying to calm down our family dog Scooter. He was barking very angrily in the backyard at something past our property line. I explained to my dad what I thought was going on. We both walked in the backyard to bring Scooter in, and that's when a figure deep within the shadows darted away and into the neighbor's yard. In my heart, I know whoever that was the stalker and thief who has my phone. We finally brought Scooter inside and made sure all the doors were locked, but my story doesn't end there. Later that night, Scooter started barking again downstairs by the front door around 3 in the morning. This wasn't typical behavior by Scooter. My dad and I both scanned the front yard from the windows and then stepped down to the front porch. It was the single most terrifying moment of my life, knowing that someone or something was out there probably watching us right now. We went back inside and called the police. When they arrived, we didn't have much to give them. I believe whoever was messing with us knew what was going on and destroyed the phone, because when I tried showing the police the Lost Mode, there was no longer updates to the location. After the police left that night, I sent a DM to the fake account explaining the police were on the case. Moments later, the account was disabled. This has been one of the most bizarre moments in my life, and it was pretty recent, so I'm staying alert until I know that I have nothing to worry about, but who knows how long that will be.